SmackDown starts off with Cody Rhodes attacking Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre got confronted by Nick Aldis and security because Drew McIntyre is still suspended, so Nick Aldis want him to leave. He tries to leave, but then Cody Rhodes, instead of being inside his car, attacks him. Then he goes to the ring because a very short promo, basically wanting Drew McIntyre's suspension to be uplifted, and he wants to be able to be on SmackDown because he wants another match. Okay, I like the aggression. I like the attitude that Cody Rhodes is carrying. But the only problem I have with this is that we already seen this like 3 times with them, and Drew McIntyre always loses. So it's like, what are you going to do differently that's going to make this feud entertaining? Because if you're not going to have Drew McIntyre win, I don't care. Like, I just don't. Because I just don't see Cody Rhodes losing because we're already a month away from Royal Rumble, and I'm assuming he's going to be the champion probably until Mania because I don't see Drew McIntyre being the champion at Mania. I just don't see it. So I just don't really care. Like it was a cool way to start the show, but it's like Drew McIntyre is such a loser at this point. It's like I just can't take the guy seriously anymore. And I love Drew McIntyre. I think he's incredibly underrated, but it's like it's hard to take the guy seriously when he loses every big match, especially as much as he does. And he's going to lose for what, the third time to Cody or second time? I don't even know how many matches they had at this point. I think technically they had 3, but one of them was like a disqualification, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, we know how this is going to go. I'll be very surprised if they actually do it, but I'm assuming that if they do have another match, Cody is probably just going to win that match anyway, because I just have a hard time believing it. But we'll see how this plays out, but I'm not really that interested. Afterwards, we end up getting a quick little vignette package from both Aleister Black and Zelina and Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. So the Terror Twins are back, which I actually like. I like the Terror Twins. I know a lot of people didn't like them, mainly due to the whole Judgment Day feud with Liv Morgan and them. So a lot of people didn't like that. But I like the Terror Twins. I think it's a good pairing. The chemistry, they have really good chemistry. I do think it is a bit obvious that Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest will win the match between in the mixed tag match because Rhea Ripley is not losing clean. Also too, I did say Damian Priest was originally going to win this feud. I think this is the way they're going to have him win this feud. Now I know a lot of people were trying to put Lola Vice in this position of Rhea Ripley, which was just I just don't understand why. I get that they're dating or whatever in real life, but no, that is a terrible idea. I'm glad they went this route because no. Lola Vice, as much as I like her, she is not main roster ready. Y'all got to stop trying to push this narrative. I don't know what it is about people trying to push Lola Vice to the moon all of a sudden. The amount of people who keep saying that she should be called up is ridiculous. No. I'm starting to think some people don't watch NXT if you think that. Like, there's no way you watch NXT and think she's main roster ready. I just don't see it. I just don't understand it. But nonetheless, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest versus Aleister Black is going to be next week. I'm assuming most likely the Terror Twins will win. I don't know how the feud continues afterwards, to be honest. Maybe it goes back to another singles match between Damian and Aleister. But nonetheless, should be a fun match, but I think the Terror Twins are going to pick up the victory. Now for the U.S. Open Challenge. Well, technically not an Open Challenge. It was already announced. We ended up getting Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov. And this gave me, man, this match was very nostalgic due to, you know, their feud back at NXT. But it was a really good match. Really good match. Ilya Dragunov ended up retaining due to Tommaso Ciampa ended up interfering in the match, costing Melo the match. Ilya ends up finding out, and now he wants a match against Tommaso Ciampa, which I don't mind. I don't hate. I understand they've been telling the story with Tommaso Ciampa trying to get a U.S. championship opportunity, but Ilya keeps refusing, keep calling him a jackass. It's a little okay, decent story. So next week we're gonna get that match, which should be a good, really good match. Curious to see what they do with Melo after this. Because what happened to the whole Miz and Melo storyline? Looks like they just dropped that. And it'll be kind of weird that they just randomly pick back up on it. So it's like, what they're going to do? What are they going to do with Melo now? Don't know. Are they going to continue to have him chase after the U.S. Championship picture? How so? Is he going to lose? Then eventually come back and win? Very, very curious to see how that all plays out. But the next week match between Ilya, Tommaso Ciampa should be really good. And plus, eventually DIY and also Fraxim are also going to have a tag match eventually as well after Ilya defeats Tommaso Ciampa next week. So very interesting to see how that match plays out, which I'm assuming Fraxim will win, but it should be a banger match nonetheless. So, yeah, I like what they're doing with the U.S. Championship. It's one of the main things to look forward to on. It's one of the few only things to really look forward to on SmackDown. But tonight's show wasn't really that bad. It was a fine show. It was a decent overall show. But Ilya Dragunov is one of the main things, one of the few things I really look forward to. So interested to see how they continue his reign. Now we get Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss. We end up getting a singles match between these two due to what happened on Monday Night Raw. This match was fine. Alexa Bliss picked up the victory. One thing I do want to mention is that I hope that Alexa Bliss keeps doing her finisher like she did on tonight's show. I hate when Alexa Bliss takes a million years to hit her finisher, where she stands and where she stares off into the crowd and just looks at the crowd. Like, I like that she did it quickly. Towards the end of the match, when she hits the sister alligator, it took her like 4 seconds to hit the finisher. That's how she needs to hit the move all the time. It's so annoying when she does the pose, then she wraps her arm around, and it takes like 20 seconds in between each sequence. I hate that because it makes her look stupid and it makes her opponent look dumb. I'm glad that she did it quickly. After the match, though, we end up getting Lash Legend attacks the baby faces of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Then you end up getting, if I'm not mistaken, I think someone else came out as well, if I'm not mistaken. It was the Kabuki Warriors that also tried to help, but they took out the Kabuki Warriors as well. So Lash Legend and Nia Jax are clearly coming after those tag titles, which I don't really mind. I just don't understand it, because what are we doing on SmackDown? Because look, I'm glad that the tag team division is finally healthy and finally looks good, even though it took them literally the entire women's division to make this work, all single stars, which is something I don't like. We need actual real tag teams. But nonetheless, this is something that we all wanted for them to take the women's tag titles seriously. The only problem is, what are we doing on SmackDown? Because you're literally sacrificing your main event and mid-card scene on SmackDown to make the women's tag division good. It's like, this is why I don't understand. It's like, look, I'm glad that Charlotte and Alexa Bliss are doing great, but it's like, we need some main event talent in the mid-card and main event scene on SmackDown. How about you just do both? You know, you could just have them all do everything, right? Like, you don't have them strictly do tag team stuff. You could easily do what they did with Nathan and Axiom on NXT, where they're both mainly Nathan was fighting for a singles goal while being attacked. You could easily do that. Like, you could easily have them fight for singles goal while being a tag team. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but we really need some of them in the singles competition on the main event and in the mid card, because it is dreadful watching the U.S. Championship and the Women's WWE Championship just suffer because they take all the talent put them in the tag division. Like, it is really ridiculous at this point. And to be honest, you don't even need Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss at this point, because the tag team division is deep now with Rio, Kabuki Warriors, Lyra, and Bailey. Like, they have, well, I wouldn't say they have enough teams, to be honest, because that's only 3. If you count Nia and Lash, that's 4. So you don't even need Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss at this point. But we'll see how this whole story plays out. Afterwards, we end up getting a quick swash match between Jade Cargill and Alba Fyre. This is a perfect example of the women's division suffering due to the women's tag titles. Now, this isn't completely due to the women's tag title, because Bianca Belair is out, Tiffany Stratton is out, so that's part of it. These swash matches are not really doing Jade Cargill any favors, because we already know Jade Cargill is dominant. Also, they're doing this thing of Jade Cargill basically being the big bully of the women's division, constantly picking on everyone. Next week, she's going to have another swash match against Michin. Look, I wouldn't mind these swash matches if we knew she had other opponents. Like, it would be different if she had Bianca Belair in the background, Tiffany in the background, Charlotte in the background, Alexa. But it's like, she has no one in the background, so it's like, it's not entertaining. It would be different if we was just waiting for her to eventually interact with those women, but we don't know if she's going to interact with those women because they're not there. It's like, and then we end up getting fucking Julia returning, well, not really returning, attacking Chelsea Green outside. Like, who gives a fuck? She had no reaction. So we're doing this Chelsea Green Julia thing again. We're just repeating why is every time when someone gets the women's US championship, we just repeat the same feud over and over? They did it with Chelsea Green. They did it with Chelsea Green and Michin. They did it with Selena Vega and Chelsea Green, and to a degree Julia as well. Now we're doing it with Chelsea Green and Joy. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, what are we doing with this? Like, we need some main event. We need some talent, bro. Either put Nia and Lash back as singles competitors. We need something, because they should not all be in the tag team division, but it is what it is. Then we get Solo Sikoa. He ends up cutting a promo. Really great promo attacking the Wyatt 6. Really love this promo. This was great. Towards the end, they end up getting a huge brawl between them, with the Wyatt 6 taking advantage, picking up the standing tall. Interested in this feud. I think the Wyatts are going to win, which is unfortunately, because they are the tag champs, but it is unfortunately. Can they actually defend those fucking tag titles, though? Like, they was all TV for weeks, and then all of a sudden they're feuding with solo MFTs. Can they defend their tag titles? Like, seriously, what happened to the Street Profits? We don't know, but I just don't care about the Wyatt 6. The main thing I'm interested in is really Solo. So we'll see how this feud goes, but I'm hoping the MFTs win, but we know the Wyatt Six are most likely going to win this feud. Then we get the main event, Gunther versus LA Knight, the finals of the last Thomas Now tournament. Really good match. Gunther picked up the victory as we expected, but he won via submission, which was very shocking. LA Knight actually tapped out. Gonna be honest with you, they may have something against LA Knight now. I was really one of those people where I thought people was overreacting, but the fact that he tapped out is kind of crazy. Now, I know they was playing a neck injury, but bro, we have seen plenty of baby faces have injuries and they never tap out. Even when they have the injury, they typically pass out at bare minimum. It's very rare where they have a babyface tap out due to an injury. Now, it was a neck injury, so I guess it's more believable, but that was very shocking. I thought he was just going to pass out, if I'm being honest. Like, that was crazy. But Gunther wins. He's going to be the one to retire John Cena, which I'm not mad at. Should be a banger match. Very interested to see how the match plays out. Is John Cena just going to get completely demolished? Is it going to be a competitive match, which I think it will be? There's a possibility that John Cena taps out in his last match. It's a possibility due to Gunther that's being his thing. It's a possibility Gunther may tap out John Cena in his last match. So very interested to see how this all plays out. Overall, SmackDown, it was a decent show. You guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.